Here is a countdown of the top 10 cool new features found in VenueMagic version 3.0 show control software. This video is mainly for those who are already familiar with VenueMagic version 2.6 or below and are interested in knowing what's new in the 3.0 upgrade. For those of you who are not familiar with VenueMagic, we recommend that you check out our website at VenueMagic.com, where you will find more information, video tutorials, and a link to download a free 15-day trial of the VenueMagic show control software. Now, let us start our countdown of the top 10 cool new features in VenueMagic 3.0. Number 10. A new facelift. The first thing you'll notice about VenueMagic 3.0 is the new look. It's much techier now and more modern looking than version 2.6. Next at number 9, adjustable track size. A lot of effort has been put into making it easier to organize VenueMagic timelines, especially ones that have lots of tracks in them. Timeline tracks now default to a smaller size. To see more, just click this arrow to expand the track and its clips to a larger size. 4 sizes are now available for expanded tracks so that you can more easily see the details you want to see, and only in the tracks where you wish to see them. Number 8. Track groups. To further simplify timelines, multiple tracks can be combined into a single track group. Close a group to hide its tracks, and then open up the group when you want to see them. You can create as many track groups as you need, and each track group can have as many audio tracks, control tracks, and event tracks as you like. Number 7. Timeline pages. If adjustable track size and track groups aren't enough to manage your timeline, VenueMagic 3.0 now introduces timeline pages. Right-click just below the timeline track area and add as many pages as you need. Select the page you want and then start adding tracks to that page. Use timeline pages to divide your timeline into different zones, such as separate sections on a stage or different rooms in a haunted house. You can play back all the pages at once or just currently selected pages. You can also put the same track on multiple pages, which is great if, for instance, you have an audio clip that is common to all of them. All of this makes it much easier to organize complex timelines. Number 6. Audio Mixdown. VenueMagic 3.0 now lets you mix down all of the audio in a timeline to a single WAV file. This is great if you want to combine multiple audio tracks into a single track. It's also good for creating a single audio file that can be exported to one of the standalone playback devices currently supported by VenueMagic. If your timeline outputs to multiple audio devices, you can export audio for each device in a separate file. Number 5. Event delay. Event delays do exactly what you might think they do. You can set up an event in an event track to trigger a specified number of seconds after it is encountered in the timeline. For example, suppose I want timeline A to run timeline B exactly 5 seconds after timeline A ends. Just drop a run timeline event for timeline B at the end of timeline A, and then set the delay time to 5 seconds. Sure enough, 5 seconds after timeline A ends, timeline B starts. Delays can be applied to events in the event table as well. So, for instance, you can set up an event to run a timeline 10 seconds after a button is pressed. This is a great feature for haunted houses and escape rooms. And next up in the top 10 is number 4, Foreground Timeline Crossfading. For some of you familiar with running VenueMagic foreground timelines, you've probably been annoyed with the way VenueMagic immediately stops a foreground timeline in playback when another timeline is run at the same foreground level. VenueMagic 3.0 improves this by letting you crossfade audio and lamp levels across running timelines. For example, suppose you want to set up some cue buttons to run foreground timelines that change lighting levels and colors. You can set up each of them to run as foreground timeline and then specify a 3-second crossfade. Notice that when you click on the cue buttons, the lights fade from one color to another, rather than jumping to the color immediately when you click the button. Here's the way old VenueMagic does it. And now, here's the way that VenueMagic 3.0 can do it. Much nicer, isn't it? But wait, it gets better. With number 3, Foreground Timeline Queuing. Wouldn't it be nice if you could click on a queue button to run a foreground timeline, and then, rather than terminate an already running timeline of the same foreground level, it instead waited for that other timeline to finish before running itself? That way you could use queue buttons to queue up timelines for sequential playback, just like a playlist. VenueMagic 3.0 gives you this feature. Here we have 3 queue buttons, each set up to play a different timeline on the same foreground level, and each set up in queue for later playback mode. When I click the first button, its timeline starts playing immediately. Now, when I click the second button, its timeline is added to the queue list, but it doesn't start playing. The same thing happens when I click the third queue button. As soon as the first timeline is finished, it disappears from the queue list and the second timeline starts playing. Likewise, the third timeline starts as soon as the second has finished. By the way, if I also set up a 3-second crossfade, then the currently playing timeline will start fading out 3 seconds before its end time, as the next timeline in the queue starts fading in. Isn't that great? Now remember, timeline queuing and crossfading only apply to foreground timelines. Background timelines play back just as they always have and never interfere with each other. Unless, of course, you want them to. But that's a story for another tutorial. Number 2, channel expressions. Many of you are using VenueMagic to control animatronics characters. It is common practice in VenueMagic to set up a MIDI or joystick input device to directly control a specific character channel, then record that channel in real time. This works great in most cases. However, suppose you have a character where multiple channels need to be controlled together to achieve a desired movement. To illustrate this, we'll use a MIDI controller along with this cool clown head designed and fabricated by the Jim Henson Creature Shop. The jaw motion for this character is handled by 2 servo motors on either side of the jaw. If I move just one motor, the jaw just skews to the side like this. If I move the other motor, it skews the other way. And that's not what I want. In order to open and close the jaw properly, I have to move both motors together at the same time. If I move both motors together in opposite directions, the jaw moves side to side. But what if I want one slider to open and close the jaw and the other to move it side to side? This is where channel expressions come in. Channel expressions will let you set up VenueMagic outputs to be controlled by mathematical equations based on VenueMagic inputs or even other outputs. It's kind of like channel routing on steroids. We'll save the details of setting it up for another tutorial. But, as you can see, this slider now controls 2 motors at the same time to open and close the jaw. This slider controls the same 2 motors in a different way to move it side to side. Rather than using simple relationship tables, VenueMagic channel expressions allow you to set up mathematical equations that can be as complex or as simple as you like. This is a powerful feature, and it's not just for animatronics either. You can use channel expressions to synchronize the motion of moving head fixtures, or to proportionately control lighting. Imagine programming a single MIDI slider that takes RGB lamps through all the colors of a sunset. All of this is possible with the new channel expressions feature in VenueMagic 3.0. And finally, number 1 on our list, VenueMagic Plugins. A very exciting new feature in version 3.0 is VenueMagic Plugins. A lot of specialized features will soon be available as plugins to the VenueMagic application. These features will include capabilities such as a web server that will let you control VenueMagic from a web browser on your PC or smart device. There are also plugins to interface with different types of hardware, like a Mackie console, or to help simplify the creation of special timelines or channel routing. Other plugins will center on capabilities related to haunted houses and escape rooms. Plugins will be announced as they become available. Some will be free of charge, others you will be able to purchase on the VenueMagic website. And that concludes our countdown of 10 cool new features you'll find in VenueMagic version 3.0. For more information, please email us at support@venuemagic.com or visit our website at venuemagic.com. Thanks for watching.